In Midland, Michigan sits a home that is not only built over the water, but also into it. This is the Alden B. Dow Home Studio, designed by one of Frank Lloyd Wright's most prolific students and heir to the Dow chemical fortune. Hi everyone, Ken here. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. In 1904, Alden Dow was born in Midland, Michigan to a family whose name was already synonymous with innovation and industry. His father was Herbert Henry Dow, the founder of the Dow Chemical Company, a major chemical manufacturing empire. Growing up as the son of an industrial magnate, Alden enjoyed a life of privilege and a first-hand view of creativity in science and business. After finishing high school in Midland, he enrolled at the University of Michigan to study chemical and mechanical engineering, a practical choice in preparation for joining Dow Chemical one day. However, it soon became clear that his heart wasn't in chemistry or engineering. After 3 years at Michigan, he made a bold change. He transferred to Columbia University in New York to study architecture. He graduated from Columbia's architecture program in 1931, formally equipping himself with the skills to pursue his passion. That same year, he married Veda Bennett, a Midland native whose father, Earl Bennett, was coincidentally an executive at Dow Chemical Company. In 1933, Alden and Veda decided to immerse themselves in the teachings of one of architecture's giants. They packed up and moved to Spring Green, Wisconsin for the summer so that Alden could study under Frank Lloyd Wright at Wright's famous Taliesin studio. At the time Alden arrived at Taliesin in 1933, Frank Lloyd Wright was already America's most famous architect, a visionary known for his revolutionary ideas and striking buildings. Wright had a profound influence on 20th century architecture, pioneering the Prairie style and designing iconic works like Falling Water and the Guggenheim Museum. He believed in designing structures in harmony with nature, a philosophy he termed organic architecture. Wright's Taliesin Fellowship, established in 1932, was a radical kind of architectural school. Rather than a traditional classroom, it was a live-in community on Wright's estate in rural Wisconsin. Taliesin was Wright's home studio and working farm, and it became a hands-on learning environment where a select group of apprentices ate, worked, and learned alongside Wright and his family. These apprentices would help build and maintain the Taliesin property, engage in formal and informal lessons, and participate in real design projects. The philosophy was that by living the organic life and doing a bit of everything, from construction to agriculture to arts, an architect would gain holistic understanding and creativity. Armed with his Columbia education and the practical lessons learned from Frank Lloyd Wright, Alden returned to Midland in late 1933, ready to chart his own course. In 1934, he established his own architectural studio in his hometown of Midland, launching what would become a remarkable 50-year career. From the outset, Dow approached architecture with a comprehensive and thoughtful philosophy. He once described his view of design, saying, quote, "Architecture is more than the front face of the building. It is the location of the building. It is the plan of the building. It is the construction of the building. It is the furnishings of the building. It is the landscaping of the building. It is, in its entirety, the manifestation of wholesome living." In other words, Dow saw a building as an ecosystem unto itself. Every element from site selection to furniture worked together in service of a good life for the people using it. This holistic mindset was very much in line with Wright's teachings, but Dow would articulate it in his own unique way throughout his career. One of his most significant early innovations was literally designing his own building blocks. Between 1934 and 1941, as he was establishing his practice, Dow undertook the design and construction of his own home and studio, a combined residence and workplace for himself in Midland. To realize this personal project, he invented a new construction system using what he called unit blocks. These were 6-sided modular blocks made from cinder ash, a plentiful waste product from the Dow Chemical Company's coal-burning furnaces. Along with a talented draftsman, Robert Goodall, a former Wright apprentice, Dow developed this rhomboid-shaped block with a square face, produced in multiple sizes. The blocks could be laid in alternating orientations. One course angled one way, the next course angled the opposite, so that their seams interlocked and created structural stability. At the 1937 Paris International Exposition, he was awarded the Diplôme de Grand Prix, essentially the grand prize for residential architecture. So what makes this house so special? To start with, the site and layout of the home and studio are extraordinary. Dow's father, Herbert, had owned a large piece of land on the outskirts of Midland that was once a fruit orchard, and Alden chose a 23-acre portion of that orchard as the setting for his home. Instead of clearing and flattening the site to impose a house upon it, Dow worked with the natural features. He even created a pond on the property by damming the little streams that ran through the orchards. This pond became a centerpiece of the design. The house is essentially built low to the ground and partially over the water and into the water, so that it appears organically integrated with the pond and landscape. The entire structure, which spreads out horizontally over roughly 20,000 square feet, winds and turns as it extends across the site. The roof lines are low and horizontal, echoing the flat Midwestern landscape and perhaps inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright's prairie-style emphasis on horizontal lines. The roofs have broad overhanging eaves that provide shade and visual heft, making the structure feel anchored to the earth. The exterior materials further blend with nature. The brick and its signature unit blocks are earth-toned or painted white, and large expanses of glass reflect the surrounding greenery and water. Parts of the house literally merge with the outdoors. Terraces extend over the pond, and in one spot there are stepping stones that lead across the water right to a door, so that entering the studio can involve hopping over the pond itself. Walking through the Alden B. Dow Home and Studio, we encounter many imaginative spaces, but perhaps is none as famous as the floating conference room, better known by its nickname, the Submarine Room, a room partly submerged in the pond. Architecturally, the Submarine Room is a basement-level chamber that juts out into the pond so that two of its walls are below the waterline. Long, horizontal windows in those walls allow you to see the water at eye level. Throughout the home and studio, Dowd paid keen attention to interior design and details. The studio wings, the portions of the building devoted to his offices and drafting rooms, was designed to encourage creativity and collaboration. In the main drafting room, a row of north-facing windows high on the wall provides steady, diffused light over the working tables, ideal lighting for drawing and model building. Moving into the residential wing of the complex, we encounter spaces that are both dramatic and intimate. The color palette inside the Dow home is another delightful aspect. The unit block walls and ceilings are largely white or neutral, which gives a clean backdrop, but Dow loved pops of bright color to enliven the atmosphere. In sum, the Alden B. Dow Home and Studio is an architectural marvel that encapsulates its creator's ideals. The fact that it was Dow's personal project gave him the freedom to experiment without a client second-guessing his every move. Decades after it was built, architects and historians still study the Alden B. Dow Home and Studio as a landmark of Michigan modern architecture. Its influence can be seen in many mid-century buildings across the region, and importantly, Dow didn't keep this gem to himself. He was known to be generous with mentoring others, perhaps echoing the mentorship he received from Frank Lloyd Wright. As the 1970s progressed, Alden Dow slowly eased out of full-time practice. He had a long and fruitful run, but age and the desire to pass the torch led him to retire from active leadership. In 1983, the state of Michigan decided to recognize Alden B. Dow in a truly special way. That year, Michigan's governor named him the Architect Laureate of Michigan. This title, analogous to a poet laureate, but for architecture, was unprecedented. In fact, Dow was the first and only architect laureate the state has ever had. Just a few months later, Alden B. Dow passed away in Midland at the age of 79. After his passing, the future of his beloved home and studio became an important concern. Fortunately, this unique property was far too significant to be left to obscurity or private use. Efforts were quickly made to preserve it and share it with the public. In 1989, just 6 years after Dow passed away, the Alden B. Dow Home and Studio was designated a National Historic Landmark, one of the highest recognitions for a historic building in the United States. Beyond official titles, the Dow home was transformed into a museum-like institution. Alden's widow Veda played a crucial role in this transition. Veda had always been a partner in Alden's endeavors. Remember, she even went to Taliesin with him in 1933 to support his dream. In the years after his passing, she worked with others in the community to ensure that the home and studio would be meticulously preserved and open for educational tours. And today, the Alden B. Dow Home and Studio operates as a historic house museum and educational center. And with that, I'll turn it over to you. What did you think about this unique home? And if you're familiar with the works of Frank Lloyd Wright, how do you think it compares? Let me know down below in the comments section. My goal for this year is to reach 1 million subscribers. If you are among the 1 to 2 million monthly viewers of this channel who are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's reach this goal together. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on This House.